The Pet's Life with Gym Dog, Ireland's first pet resort by Des the Vet. Managed by vets, loved by pets. Daycare, vet care, premium pet food and grooming. Visit at petslife.ie.
And it's a Pet's Life with a Gym Dog here on Kildare's KFM on the 11 to 3 for today. 0833 97 97 97 is our number. Des joins me in studio, being that it's a Tuesday. Time to take a look at all the different problems that you have with your animals. And we'd love to hear from you. And we're going to be talking about the National Reptile Zoo, which as well, it's all about conservation and education and exploration. We'll do that in a few minutes. First things first, Des, how are you?
Yeah, good, John. Great to be here, thanks.
Yeah, you were just saying a moment ago back, you've never done the old Rome trick.
Going to Rome in September with one of my sons, with James, and we're looking forward to seeing the Colosseum and the Vatican and the lovely art galleries and ruins that they have there. Never visited Rome, so looking forward to it.
I've never done it as well, and myself and Aaron, my eldest son, was just saying to me, God, he'd love to do that too, and we do a trip every year with the two of us, and we said, we must put that on our bucket list. I wouldn't do it between June, July and August, because I think it'll be bedlam, but I think over in September it won't be too bad as well. But you were saying there's also a good... Yeah, go on.
We started, you see, my son James wants to be a writer. He's studying English in DCU. He's actually written, would you believe he's written his first novel?
No way.
Yeah, James is, and first edition of it was published, kindly sold and launched in the Shanachie Bookshop in Kildare for him. Yeah, and it's called A Grim Tale of Wolves. It's a kind of a fantasy about with a conservation theme.
Very good.
So that's James, that's
Excellent,
my son.
Okay.
So I kind of teasing him and saying, James, I want to be a writer, you need to see more of the world. So one thing led to another. We said, right, let's go to Rome.
Yeah.
Because I had a kind of an old school education, old fashioned education. I actually studied Latin and Roman history in school. Yeah.
So did I.
Through the Jesuits in Clane and Clongowes, so I loved Latin and I loved Roman history, and yet never took the time to get to go to Rome and see it all. So I'm looking forward to doing that next month.
But it is good. I mean, if you Google Rome, and don't just think about Rome, what it offers you. There's from everything from the Trevi Fountain to the Colosseum to the Vatican and everything else in between.
And catacombs.
And
the old Senate buildings.
Yeah.
And lovely art galleries with the best of old medieval art and paintings in them. Yeah. So I'm really looking forward to that. That'll be my first trip to Rome.
Okay, very good. And you're saying there's a good zoo over there too?
There's a good zoo. Now, everywhere I go, I like to find zoos and visit zoos. There's a great zoo in Berlin. There's a great zoo in Rome. Chester Zoo I was in recently.
I was there when I was about 13 or 14.
You were in Chester, were you?
Yeah.
It's as good as Dublin Zoo, definitely. Now, Dublin Zoo has improved a lot. We talked about that last week.
Yeah.
Nearly 20 years ago, maybe 15 years ago now, one of the most memorable experiences I ever had, visited Cape Town. And we had somewhere to stay. We had friends in Cape Town at the time, and we stayed in their house, and we drove around and spent a few days during our trip in a nature reserve a couple of hours north of Cape Town. Right. And that was fantastic. It was a life-changing experience,
I heard great things about
hippos,
stuff like that,
rhinos, what they call the Big Five. Big conservation theme there too, yeah.
I think that's what it's all about, conservation, education, exploration, because when I was looking at the Kilkenny one, that's what it's all about, education for the kids. It's
a mini zoo in Kilkenny, which specialises in reptiles.
Yeah.
They call it the National Reptile Zoo. It's just off the Hebron Business Park on the Ring Road in Kilkenny City, and it's a kind of a place 2 to 3 hours you'd get around it, because being a reptile zoo and a snake zoo, in effect, it's all indoors.
Yeah.
So
obviously, because they have to keep it at certain temperatures.
Yeah, it's very warm. Yeah. It has to be certain temperatures. So reptiles and snakes are cold-blooded.
Yeah.
There's another word for that, it's ectothermic. That means that their body temperature and their circulation depends on the external environment. So in very cold climates, they shut down and they kind of hibernate, and they need high humidity and high temperature. So it's a warm place when you go into it, and it's all indoors.
Yeah.
And they have lots of different snakes and lots of different reptiles, and they're all in their own tanks. The most impressive thing you'll see there is you'll see two giant apex predators, two large alligators, which are native to southeastern US, the Americas. They are just like you would see on one of those TV shows about Florida or about the swamps of Louisiana. They are monsters, about 7-8 metres long, these two alligators.
Yeah.
The biggest I've ever seen.
Wow.
and they have a right big area there, the size of a garden, big tank for them, big pond.
I mean, when you think of those the smaller versions of the reptiles, they must be very hard to maintain. Or, I mean, is it just a case you chuck something into a glass tank and away you go?
Yeah, now, do you know what? That's a very good comment to make, because one of the things I'm going to say, and it's very important to make a point like this to people, it's lovely to visit places like this and have a fascination with iguanas, chameleons, alligators, different types of snakes, cobras, pythons and so on. It's lovely to have a fascination with them and an interest in them, but they're not to be recommended as pets. They're really hard to keep. Now, in my experience of the exotic animals that I've seen coming into my practice, which is occasional, not very frequent, but it's very much a fact of the veterinary world that most of the problems that vets see in relation to exotic animals are problems caused by
the owner.
But yeah, they're so hard to keep. So, for example, if you get the temperature wrong in the tank, then they get problems with their skin. If you get the humidity wrong, they get problems with their lungs, with their breathing. Yeah. So fungal infections, different types of skin infections are caused by the way we keep them. If there's a problem with the frequency of the water being changed, they'll get problems with their urinary tract, and they'll get problems with diarrhea and so on. Build-ups of harmful bugs and bacteria, which can be harmful to us as well as harmful to them. For instance, a simple thing now, you might think that terrapins or tortoises or whatever are easy to keep. They're actually not.
Coincidentally,
they're really hard
question
to keep.
About terrapins there.
Good, yeah. You see now, for instance, they carry salmonella. And any bit of a lapse in terms of hygiene or managing the water, and you'll have build-ups of salmonella, which are harmful to the household as well as to the little terrapins.
But people take terrapins out of the tanks and let them run around the garden or run around the inside of the house and all, don't they?
Yeah, and that's okay. But you must just wash your hands very, very carefully and very closely. Hygiene is scrupulously so important, because the type of bacteria that they carry on them can be harmful to us.
Yeah.
So hygiene like that is really important. Also feeding. Very, very difficult to get the feeding right. You really have to be very invested and engaged and educated to keep a reptile or a snake properly.
Right.
For instance, just to give you the icks or the creeps, you know what they feed those larger reptiles and larger snakes there? Rabbits.
Rabbits.
Yeah, and other small mammals.
Right.
They have to be brought in, killed and fed whole.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, the likes of a big snake, for instance, they're a python, for instance, a Burmese python.
Are they allowed to be in homes as pets?
There's a loophole there. It's legal to have them and it shouldn't be, because they're so difficult to keep. A Burmese python can start off at 3 to 4 feet, like a metre long. A young Burmese can be a metre, and it can finish up at 8 to 10 metres in length.
Right.
They have been known to kill people. They're constrictors. Yeah. Pythons are not poisonous. They don't bite. They don't have poison in their mouths.
Yeah.
They're constrictors, meaning they kill their prey by choking,
right,
by squeezing. And they have been known to kill people.
Yeah.
They'll kill small mammals like dogs or cats.
Yeah.
Given a chance, if they get out of their tanks, get out of their environment. And they have to be fed, as I say, small mammals, fed whole.
Yeah.
And they'll only eat once or twice a week.
Yeah.
So overfeeding can be harmful, underfeeding can be harmful.
Right, so it's all those things you have to look into.
They're very difficult to keep, and as I say, so-called exotic animals, be they reptiles or snakes, almost every difficulty I've ever seen with them have been diseases of domestication, diseases caused by management.
But the other problem, I would think, Des, while you're a well-known vet of, you know, the general vet, to be an expert in this level of reptiles, is it a case that you handle what you can, and if you're not sure, you pass up the food chain?
Yeah, handle what you can, exactly, and refer what you're not sure of.
Yeah.
So there's a certain amount of stuff we're able to do for exotic birds and exotic reptiles and that kind of thing. We'd have a limited range of medications and dosages in general practice that we can use on these sort of things, but anything, you know, kind of out of the ordinary that comes in, we'll know by looking at it whether it's outside of our range, and we would refer to a specialist. There's a couple of practices in Dublin that specialise in exotics.
Yeah.
And that's where we would refer to.
Yeah. But for example, the likes of the National Reptile Zoo, which I'll hand on heart, I knew of it. I never realised it was in Kilkenny.
Yeah.
I never really paid much attention to it because I didn't realise that you could go to a reptile-only place. Is it a good day out?
It's a good day out. So, to a very knowledgeable young woman there, one of the, I suppose you'd call her a zookeeper, but she's actually a veterinary nurse, and she gave a talk every half hour on every half hour throughout the day,
Yeah.
using a different snake or a different reptile as a prop, and took it out of its case and talked about its feeding habits, its lifestyle, its breeding, where it's from, where it's endemic to, allowed the children to handle it. It was a fascinating little 5-minute, 10-minute talk every half hour.
Right.
So it's a place to go and spend
And learn.
2 to 3 hours and learn.
Yeah. Definitely.
And learn.
Yeah.
12 quid in or whatever it was. I'd really recommend it as a day out. And do you know what? In Ireland here, we should support these ventures like this.
Well, they're non-profit making the mostly. It's all about conservation.
They're only just doing it to try and keep the thing going.
Yeah.
So people should support them.
Yeah, absolutely. Well done on that. So a good one if you haven't heard of it before. And if you're looking for advice, maybe you want to get some sort of small reptile or a terrapin or something along those lines. Are you saying you wouldn't recommend it, or are you saying it's just tough to keep?
I wouldn't recommend it. I wouldn't recommend it. So my audience here, now look.
What about tortoise and turtles?
Easier to keep, but a lot of work with them.
Right.
Cleaning in particular. The hygiene management is the tricky end of it.
Okay.
Anybody interested in that, usually find kind of young teenagers get engaged in this, get interested, and become fascinated with exotics, and develop the interest in that. And they need to do a lot of reading, and they need to do a lot of visiting to these kind of places and talking to people, and really do a lot of research about the size of a tank, the type of a tank needed, where you're going to get the food from, how you're going to keep the environment in the tank right. There's a good bit of planning in it, and initial setup cost.
Is that a bit like tropical fish or aquariums and stuff like that? Or are they in the same category as hard to keep, or is it just a case if you get the fish right part, it's grand? Yeah.
Now, years ago, when I first built the hospital there in Kildare town, I had an interest in exotic fish, tropical fish at the time, and I put a lovely large heated tank in place and bought several different species of tropical fish and kept them for a few years. But as we got busier and busier, began to become harder to find the time and make the time to keep the tank clean and keep the feeding right and so on, and keep them alive and keep them healthy and well. So after a while, we thought it wasn't fair. And we gave away the tank.
Okay, question there just says, hi Des, regarding terrapins, we were thinking about getting terrapins for the young children. Now we're having second thoughts. What about an alternative? Okay, so terrapins maybe not the way to go. Is there anything out there? Would it be easier to get tortoises than terrapins? No.
Terrapins are water dwelling.
Yeah.
So this is where the hygiene management comes in, because the tanks can get very dirty.
Right.
So there's a good bit of work with them. I wouldn't put that listener off completely.
Right.
It depends on the age of the children.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be getting them for, real children, proper children.
Okay.
You want maybe something for young teens to get involved in. If you get them as a pet for children, you'll be doing all the work yourself.
Yeah.
And you'll have to educate yourself about it.
Okay. Question from Jean Cummins. She's out in Kilcock. She wants to know, could you recommend something along the lines of rabbits or gerbils or kind of along that line? We don't know what to do, but the kids love the lovely little fluffy stuff. Yeah,
rabbits you could. You could start off with a couple of rabbits and see how you get on. You need an indoor hutch and an outdoor hutch. They're herbivores, of course, so they're going to eat a lot of grass. They need sticks and toys to chew. They need lots of cabbage and lettuce and carrots, of course.
Yeah.
And hay.
They're good fun, though.
And they're good fun.
Yeah.
You have to handle rabbits a lot to make sure that they're quiet.
Yeah.
They revert to being fearful and timid very, very quickly, very, very easily. If you get bored with them and get out of the habit of giving them daily attention, they revert to being fearful very quickly. And fearful rabbits that are not used to being picked up can actually be dangerous, because they have long back nails and they can scratch and cut the skin, particularly children's arms, very, very easily.
So if you're going to get them, they're there to be handled.
Yeah, if you're going to get them, you have to spend time with them.
Right.
And
but isn't that the reason why they're so popular with younger children?
It is. Children can spend time with them. They're gentle. They're kind little creatures. They're relatively easy to handle and manage. You can have them when you have less space. With dogs and cats, you need more space. With rabbits, you'd probably get away with less space.
Yeah.
You just have them in the garden and have them in their hutches.
Yeah. That makes sense as well.
So, it depends. It might suit your lifestyle. If you have dogs and cats already, by the way, I would say don't get rabbits or any of those kind of things. No.
No. The rabbits would become too stressed.
They would.
Yeah, absolutely. I read that somewhere before, actually.
Yeah.
Okay, general question coming in. Any ideas how to keep the cats from using my stairs carpet or stairs as a scratch post?
Oh, yeah.
I hear them at night, but can't get up to stop them. Well, do you know what? Our cat, we have a mat at either side of the one at the back door, one at the front door, and it's one of those hard mats, right? Before the cat wants to go out, after eating, he kind of... and needs the need KNEAD needs the mat. Mm-hmm. He doesn't go. We don't have anything there inside that he can actually go up and scratch on the doorpost. He doesn't do that, but he loves kneading the mat.
Yes. So there are certain mats.
So how does that work? Why
it's
do they do
to do
that?
with the texture, isn't it?
Yes.
So that listener's problem is that they're scratching the carpet.
Right.
So there's a texture that they prefer to carpet.
Yeah.
It could be a thicker, more bristly type of a matting.
Absolutely, 100%.
Like a doormat.
Yes, yeah.
So you go into a good pet shop and have this discussion, and they will point you in the direction of scratching posts and mats that have a preferable texture that your cats will go for over the carpet.
Right.
So you give them good options that somebody tells you, hey, we know from experience cats prefer this texture, and get yourself a few of these scratching mats and scratching posts, and you'll find that they'll leave the carpet alone.
The other thing is, I hear them at night but can't get up to stop them. But the thing is, if they're doing it at night, is that not an indication that they want to be let out?
Yeah, but you could try just letting them out, offering them the option of going out.
Yeah.
And see if they prefer that.
Because I think it's more outdoor cats that would do that more so than the indoor cats.
It is. So they're bored and they're active. And do you remember we had a great chat here recently about cats getting the zoomies?
Yes.
About how their natural instinct from evolution is the ideal time, the optimal time for hunting in the wild of the little small mammals that they hunt at dawn and dusk.
Yeah.
And that's to do with the fact that the eyesight of these tiny mammals is not great at dawn and dusk, whereas a cat's eyesight is particularly attuned to that frequency of low light of dawn and dusk.
Yeah.
So they're getting the zoomies at 3-4 o'clock in the morning.
I would agree
because
with
their
that.
body clock is telling them that it's hunting time.
Yeah.
And hunting time and playtime are the same thing for cats.
Yeah, it's a bit like during the whole summer thing with our cat, he's outside all the time. He comes in, gets his food, and he is gone, right? He doesn't... Where in the winter, where it's freezing cold, he'll come in, he'll wander around, he'll jump up onto his cushion or into his bed or wherever the hell he wants to. But again, as soon as dawn begins to break, he wants out. So you're up at 5 o'clock or 4 o'clock in the morning, and you're out letting the cat out.
So don't get a cat unless you're prepared to be hauled out of bed at 5 in the morning.
Yeah, absolutely. Keep your texts coming there, 0833 97 97 97. I have a turtle in a pond about 20 years old. His partner died a couple of years ago. Is he lonesome, or would I get a bigger turtle to help him along, says Liz in Kilcock?
Yeah, do get a couple more, by all means. You have the space.
If he's in a pond, absolutely.
Yeah, you have the environment for them. So that's a lovely environment. And an ideal place to bring a couple of new turtles out there and continue the tradition and continue using the knowledge that you've built up over the years. Yeah. So this listener is in an ideal situation to continue with their hobby.
Yeah, I would agree with that 100%. Add them in and keep them. Would turtles be loners, or would they like company?
They like company, actually.
Do they? Yeah.
Yeah. You always see them in these zoos and all these places in groups.
Yeah.
They're happy enough in groups. They like being in groups.
So if you add something more...
You have the space
not
there,
even
why not?
one, even 2 or 3 or whatever
Do
else.
that, yeah.
How do you stop them from mating? Difficulty, I suppose. Or do they?
Well, do you know what? You could let nature take its course, and you could
Especially
probably bring them back into the pet shop or whatever if you wanted to.
Yeah.
You know,
absolutely.
you could.
Yeah, okay, very good. John was on. Hold on a second.
Do you know that a tortoise is a turtle, but a turtle is not a tortoise?
Yes, I do.
Did you hear
know
that one before?
I did, but I never got it right.
So
but I knew it was
the
something
species name.
One is land only, or one land and water.
Yeah, of course,
one is water.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're amphibian or land only, one or the other.
Yeah. Which is better to have, actually?
The land ones would be a bit easier to keep. They have these fantastic land-dwelling African tortoises.
They're the ones you see in
the zoo. They're in a nice pen, big enough to keep a good group of them, and they're munching away there on grass and hay. And they're happy as Larry. And apparently in the African savannah, they live in the wild and mooch around and cover miles. And they're very, very useful because their feces, as they walk around and obviously defecate, they're spreading grass seeds as they go.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. Okay, we're coming towards the end. Anything else you want to add?
Yeah, I want to tell you about the most interesting type of terrapin or tortoise that I saw there, if I can think of the name of it. An African snapper turtle.
Right.
And they're kind of gristly and bristly, and they have all kinds of armour on them, and sharp plating on them to protect them, and they're water dwelling. And their trick is they have a tongue shaped like and pink and wriggly and long that looks like a fish.
Yeah.
And they lie really, really still at the bottom of the ponds with their mouth open and their tongue out, and it's wriggling away there, and it looks like a fish. And a fish comes along unsuspectingly and grabs their tongue, and then snap. That's dinner time.
That's dinner time.
Yeah.
Class.
And it's 20 million years since they have changed.
Yeah.
Their evolution hasn't changed in 20 million years.
Wow, that's mad. Now, before I let you go, I wanted to mention to you the video you sent me about the fun facts regarding lizards, I think it was it?
Yes.
That was very interesting, wasn't it?
It is. They have that's just a poster from the wall of the reptile zoo, and they have a fun fact about snakes as well.
Yeah.
Lizards, one of the things about them is they find their mates through smell because their eyesight's not good.
Right.
Yeah.
There you go.
There's a couple of other things on that list, isn't there?
That's a bit like humans.
Yeah.
Anyway.
A fun fact about cats.
Yeah.
The evolution of cats is continuing.
Right.
There's a new colour that cat breeders have invented, and they're calling it salty licorice.
Salty licorice?
Yeah. A long-haired breed of a cat is being bred that has this salty licorice hair. And what it is, right, is the first half of the hair follicle is black, and the second half of the same follicle is white.
Yeah.
And it gives them this kind of a textured, sort of a salt and pepper, dusky sort of a look to the coat. Each individual follicle is half black and half white.
Okay, quick one for you. Just back on the turtle, adding the small. Will I just add small turtles to the pond, or will he attack them? He won't attack them, will he?
No, he won't attack them.
He won't attack them.
No, they're big enough to swim around.
Yeah. That's it. But no, there should be no problem at all, Liz. Thanks. Christina was on it. Maynooth, I have a cat goes out to do her business in the back garden and dashes back in. If anyone knocks on the front door, she dashes out the back door. Is she afraid of something? When I got her, she was skin and bones, but now she's okay. She's just probably one of those.
Just really timid.
Just really timid.
Solitary cats.
Yeah, solitary cats. Typical cats. No big deal on that one. Straightforward. Just asking, we have a pond that we put our goldfish from a bowl in the kitchen into the pond to see if they would survive.
Cool.
We only had 2. We added in a third, and now we have a little blackfish that's gone in. I googled to see if they were fry. Look it up. Which I never knew that was a baby goldfish. Could this happen? Also, can they survive on the natural food in the pond, or should we be also adding food to that, says Laura?
You will need to be adding food.
Yeah. They'll come to the top anyway.
They'll come to the top, they'll feed. You can be adding food. They're freshwater, cold water fish, goldfish. You can add plenty of them if you want to. See how they get on. Okay, perfect way to wrap up. And that's it. We'll podcast this episode a little bit later on this afternoon here on Kildare's KFM. That was been pretty interesting. That's great, John. Well done. Thanks, Des.
It's a pet's life with Gym Dog, Ireland's first pet resort by Des the Vet. Managed by vets, loved by pets. Daycare, vet care, premium pet food and grooming. Visit at petslife.ie.